The Vincentian seed planted by servant of God Father Varke Kattarath in 1904 sprouted in Kerala and spread its roots into the land of Africa in its 75th anniversary, that is, in 1979, by the arrival of the pioneer Vincentian missionaries to Africa, late Reverend Father James Edavadithara and Reverend Father Jacob Attikal. The first mission of these Vincentians was in the Archdiocese of Mbeya, Tanzania. Father James was a man of exemplary life and a true missionary.
Father James, I remember him with lots of gratitude for his undivided commitment to the continent and the mission in Africa. And he has contributed so much for the flourishing of this mission here for the past 44 years.
He was a Carthusian at home, an apostle abroad.
To say about Father James Edavadithara, he was a man of prayer. He never forgets his prayer in his missionary life. He used to come for all the community prayers in time, and he spent more time personally before the Lord. And he is a model for all the new missionaries to Africa.
The five virtues of Saint Vincent de Paul was very much evident and living in the life of Father James. His commitment to the poor and the marginalized and the vulnerable was very much similar to that of Saint Vincent.
Father Jacob still has fresh memories of Africa.
The Reverend Father James Edavadithara and myself, Father Jacob Attikal, went from Kerala to Tanzania on the 11th of July 1979. First, we did not know the language of the country and the customs of the country.
Even after years, people do remember their presence here in Africa.
I'm Father Francis now, Father Francis Magala from Archdiocese of Mbeya. I knew this priest, Jacob and James. When they came in our diocese, they were appointed to the mission called Tukuyu, Rungwe district. I remember it's James and Jacob and Luke who invited me at first to celebrate my first Mass in Tukuyu.
Their zeal gave strength to the roots to shoot gradually. Under the leadership of these zealous missionaries, the roots spread its branches as more Vincentian priests from Kerala followed them to Africa. But the death of Reverend Father Luke Mattapallichira in 1986 was tragical and painful. It became a wound in the root of Vincentian mission in Africa. But the wound became a ground for a new shoot as a new mission was opened in Kigoma, where Father Luke had gone for a retreat and he got sick, died within few days due to cerebral malaria, and had to be buried there, 800 kilometers away from his community in Mbeya, which was later closed in 1990. To have more shoots, God pruned the Vincentian root by the painful death of Reverend Father Thomas Plackell in 1992 in an accident, and was also buried next to the tomb of Father Luke. The death of Reverend Father Thomas Plackell gave birth to a new shoot in the form of the arrival of late Reverend Father Joseph Kurupam Parambil in the same year. Father Bill, as he was commonly called, with his zeal for preaching the good news to the poor in Africa, opened new ways to the route to spread the Vincentian missions in Kenya and Uganda. He died while preaching a retreat at the age of 80 and was buried in the African soil as it was his wish in Entebbe, Uganda in 2008. He became the manure for the new shoots.
The presence of Father Bill made me a very big impact in my life because he is having a dynamic personality. He is a man of simplicity and he is a man of love. And his personality really influenced me, and that encouraged me to continue in the soil of Africa. Today I am here almost 25 years in the soil of Africa.
African mission route got its new strength to grow by the arrival of seminarians in Africa for regency and theological studies.
The mission in Africa, it had been flourishing with the arrival of seminarians from India, Kerala, and the first missionary student was Reverend Father Joy, and I was with him. We were studying together, and his perseverance assisted other missionary students to continue here in Africa. Right now we are blessed with many priests, and majority of them, they were students, they were seminarians, and right now they are priests.
Late Reverend Father Joy Vellaram Kalayil was one among the first who died due to COVID in 2021 after 26 years of missionary life in Africa, and was buried in Nairobi, Kenya, giving new life and energy to the mission. The Vincentian root, which was planted in the African soil 44 years ago, is still growing with the zealous works of 38 priests in 4 East African countries. The tireless commitment of many Vincentian missionaries in the past are producing great fruits, and it expects the first Vincentian priest from the soil of Africa next year. The root, the work of many hands, sprouts and still grows in the land of Africa.